What up, guys? Today we have the bolt pistol, and I know this weapon has been recently buffed, so I was kind of curious to see the impact of the buff and maybe to test out the weapon to see if it needed another one. The bolt pistol right now, I will say, is regarded to be the worst weapon in the game. There's not too many moments where you would really need a bolt pistol. I know some people say it's good for squad renewal, and it is good for squad renewal, so hopefully we get a sniper who's using squad renewal, and then I will have a bunch of banners. But ultimately, I also wanted to see the damage output of the weapon. And we do have a pretty basic bulwark build right here. I do have Glory Shield, which is nice with Purity of Purpose, so this banner is going to feel pretty impactful. And now, directly, once we jump into this operation, we get a pretty huge fight here. Yep, I was kind of getting close to getting stun locked, but luckily I was able to drop the banner and help my team out. That was a very good, aggressive banner right there, because not only is it providing armor for my teammates, it is also providing, Purity of Purpose, and also in which case is dealing extra damage. It's area of effect damage from Purity of Purpose that I believe difficulty scales, which is really nice. But as you can see with this beginning this operation, there wasn't too many moments where I really needed to use the bolt pistol. But luckily, we do get a pretty big wave of enemies right here, and you will see the bolt pistol do its best to provide some damage. But ultimately, these parries are dealing a lot of damage, which is nice because I do have Intimidating Aura. Intimidating Aura is obviously going to deal basically some parry damage that is going to allow me to get those executions. And not to mention the gun strikes, I will say. The gun strikes for the bolt pistol are at least better than the Inferno pistol, so that's kind of, that's good for the weapon. There is a Ravener. And luckily, we had the parry into the gun strike. But as you can see, there's a lot of hazard damage on the floor over there, which honestly kind of looks pretty good as far as like the overall effect of the, the mechanic over there. It kind of looked very toxic and poisonous, but oh yeah, I will say the bolt pistol's actually kind of fast to shoot, so it's kind of a good vine clearing weapon also. Maybe the bolt pistol is more of a utility weapon than what it is supposed to be with DPS. Oh, but there I went for a shield bash, and unfortunately I took some damage there, which caused me to second guess a little bit. I really should have dropped the banner, but yeah, getting hit by 2 attacks from the Major right there was not good. The bolt pistol did get my contested health back kind of okay. Now, honestly, there's definitely better weapons for that. But still, the bolt pistol does have some pretty good, fire rate as long as you can click it fast. So, I don't know. I think yes, the bolt pistol definitely has some utility, but it's not going to be the best mob clearing weapon. Hey, you know what though? The parries and the gun strikes were definitely working. That was kind of a rough start to the operation. But hey, if you want to see a Biovore get bullied here, we have this Biovore. we have this Biovore kind of cornered. It's jumping up and down. I do get hit by a Spore Mine there, which honestly wasn't too bad. We were able to take out this Biovore pretty quick. Also, yes, my teammate right there was able to slam down. And yeah, we have a level 2 Vanguard here. We have Proven Efficiency, which is nice, Advanced Conditioning. We have actually pretty good team perks, so I thought we were going to be able to get this done even with the low level teammate there. And here I am last brother standing, so I'm playing very carefully. I want to choose the path with least resistance here. I want to choose the path with least resistance. Sorry, I don't know why that's tongue twisting me, but yeah, this was basically the hallway with less enemies, and I was able to pick up my teammate, which is nice. Yep, getting some blocks there. Major done. And we are back on track for the operation. Making sure you play very careful when you're last brother standing is definitely important. But there, it wasn't too big of a deal. There wasn't too much resistance. But yes, now we do have a zone throw here. Here's going to be a pretty good moment of the bolt pistol. Just get up in close of the zone throw. The zone thrope's dodging back and forth, but the bolt pistol easily tracks and easily, takes out the zone thrope there. And yes, at this part, also, by the way, that blue on the shield At first in the operation, it wasn't really bothering me, but yeah, it's kind of bothering me now, which is funny. The bulwark's black, and now I have blue on my shield. It's whatever. But yeah, here's a really good moment for the DPS banner. Purity of Purpose is able to, you know, take out some of the mobs. This blocking major wasn't blocking enough. I definitely had fun with that bolt pistol clip. That was definitely pretty wild. And in this operation, we do start to see some spore mines creep up as well, which is kind of rough. Here's another good moment that I guess I could have dropped banner for. I was kind of ready for it, but ultimately there wasn't enough spore mines for me to justify it. But yes, I still get some shield bashes in. Now, here's definitely a bad moment. Isn't that crazy? I have a gun strike there, and I was literally hit. I literally got hit right in the face with the beam, and I had a gun strike. I had a gun strike for that. Yeah, so I do drop the banner here, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to keep in. You know, I wasn't able to keep in mind the orb attacks there, and I do ultimately trade a banner. And yes, I lose the banner there. That is crazy. I still can't believe how that happened. Once I noticed that my banner didn't work, I was kind of like looking around, like, oh. What do I do now? So I'm playing around the corner here to, I was keeping an eye on my other teammate who was dealing with a different extremist. And then I was just using the bolt pistol here to, you know, luckily we're able to take out these zone throws. So I was just kind of supporting the DPS from range a bit. But yes, my teammates, honestly, we were able to deal with a lot of stuff this operation, especially right there. The fact that my teammates were able to split up a bit and still take care of the extremists they were fighting. I definitely felt confident about this Hive Tyrant fight. Now, this hallway, a lot of bad times happen in this hallway. I swear, whatever operation you run in, the decapitation, this hallway and decapitation can seriously get sweaty. And yes, that was a pretty that was like a pretty loud roar by the extremists there. I was able to dodge this Ravener, which is nice because I'm not in heavy stance. Big parry into the broken Ravener. This Ravener is now broken. It is not doing regular walking animations, but luckily it doesn't matter. I take it out. But unfortunately for us, we see spore mines, and we see a lot of spore mines. This hallway isn't big enough for the amount of spore mines that we saw spawn in there. Now here, I was basically just trying to parry these majors, but I do get a bit of hit stun there and comboed on, but I do keep my armor up, which is nice. So now I'm in this corner. I kind of just want to see this major attack me. I get the parry gun strike, and we ultimately survive that spore mine wave. That's a wild Melta. I think we would have been okay without it, but still, it's fine. It's fine. We were able to parry the majors. There's one major left, and I'm pretty sure my teammates were able to take him out. But hey, you know what? We have two Guardian Relics jumping into this Hive Tyrant fight. Now, here's the moment of truth. The Bolt Pistol. The Bolt Pistol against the Hive Tyrant. How is it going to perform? Well, as you can see, it's pretty okay. It's not terrible. I think I have similar DPS from the unbuffed version of the auto bolt rifle. I would definitely put this weapon underneath the auto bolt rifle. By the time I was, you know, at this boss fight, I pretty much considered this build not very good with the bolt pistol at the very least. I mean, we don't have squad renewal, so you know what though? The weapon was pretty good at vine clearing. I was definitely clearing out a lot of the vine mines, so I was, you know, kind of excited to see that. But here, basically as a team, we just need to stay aggressive on this boss fight. And yes, that Assault Slam was able to stun him. Definitely caught that Gaunt right last second. And then once I saw that, I was like, oh god, we have mobs. Let me make sure that my teammates have some armor here. I did prioritize the Assault there. The Assault class has the Gene Seed, so I want to make sure they can survive with that. But still, I think this Vanguard, even though they were level 2, played very, very well with this Hive Tyrant. Also, you're going to see some very surprising stats at the end of this also. But ultimately, as long as I could parry and gun strike, I wasn't too worried about my DPS. And yes, honestly, the Bulwark is a very good class to play right now. I do throw that grenade just for a little bit of a head start DPS on the Hive Tyrant's health bar. And honestly, I gotta appreciate the Hive Tyrant. I think the Hive Tyrant's still a really, really good boss fight to to fight. I honestly don't know how many times I fought the Hive Tyrant. It's probably been a lot. But still, I very much enjoy the Hive Tyrant fight, mostly with Bulwark because it's kind of like a sword fight, you know what I mean? And that kind of looks sick. But yes, that shock was huge. I was able to get the gun strike, and yes, we did a lot of damage to the Hive Tyrant right there. So I was pretty confident that we had this, and surely nothing will go wrong. Well, it's funny I say that, because yes, things started to go wrong here because there was a mob that spawned in that I honestly wasn't too, aware of. I definitely could have thrown a couple of shots that way, but still we had the area of the effect, the area of effect attack from the Hive Tyrant. So ultimately, still, there was a lot of double damage. I bet you there's a lot of damage stacking happening here, and yes, one of my teammates, they do end up using the Guardian Relic. I do take a little bit of damage there, but luckily I was able to get that gun strike. But still, the Vanguard, even though they have a Guardian Relic, they spawn in, and I bet you they were dealing with a lot of damage stacking, and they end up going back down. So now is the time for me to really clutch up here. I am, again, last brother standing, and I go down. That is the damage stacking that I'm talking about. The Hive Tyrant attacked me the same time the Major did, and as soon as I parried one of them, I didn't parry the other, and I go down. But luckily, I do have a Guardian Relic here. I dropped my banner, Purity of Purpose, and a Shock. I was able to take out the Major. Also, look at the Hive Tyrant's health bar. I am shredding it. I'm the lone Bulwark here in this boss fight, and as soon as I see an attack that I'm able to deal with, he goes down. So Bulwark good, Bolt Pistol kind of okay, I guess. I think the Bolt Pistol has its utility, obviously, with squad renewal, and hey, you know what? Taking out Vine Mines, I think the Bolt Pistol is pretty good at doing that as well. But yes, as you can see with the damage, it's not super great with damage. Also, that level 2 Vanguard beat us in both melee and ranged, which is wild. But hey, you know what? I did my job at the end of that boss fight, clutching up and getting the gun strike there to finish that off. And I'm 1 level away from Prestige 3.